When I Set Out for Linus, poem by Thomas Hardy, Class 8, Chapter 7, NCERT text CBSE. Thomas Hardy is a British poet and a novelist and a young apprentice architect. He once visited a parish to supervise the restoration of the church. On his return, people noticed two things about him. There was a new glow in his eyes, and there was also a piece of paper peeping out of his coat pocket. This paper had the draft of the present poem, When I Set Out for Lyonnesse. When I set out for Lyonnesse, 100 miles away, the rime was on the spray, and starlight lit my lonesomeness. When I set out for Lyonnesse, 100 miles away. Now, in the first stanza, the author says that when he set out for Lyonnesse, set out means started. Lyonnesse, so in Arthurian legend, a country near Cornwall in south west of England, supposed to have been submerged by the sea. So he says that when he started for Lyonnesse, which was 100 miles away, it was very cold then, and the leaves were covered with frost. The rime was on the spray means rime means frost. Spray means foliage. Now, what does foliage means? It means leaves. So the author says that it was a lonely journey in the light of stars alone. Why he explained it to be a lonely journey? Because it is written here that and starlight lit my lonesomeness. Lonesomeness means the feeling of being lonely. It was a cold evening and the stars guided him to lonesome path. Now coming to the second stanza, what would bechance at Lyonnesse when I should sojourn there? No prophet duress declare, nor did the wisest wizard guess what would bechance at Lyonnesse while I should sojourn there. Now, when the author set for Lyonnesse, it was a place 100 miles away. When the poet started his journey, nobody could predict the happenings during his stay there. That means that bechance here means happening, and sojourn means stay. No prophet duress declare, nor did the wisest wizard guess. Now, here the author is saying that during his stay at that church, something happened there, and it was, however, something which no one expected. So, here the wizard here means magicians, as well as duress means it is a past tense of dare. Nobody could dare guess, not even the wizard. Guess means reckon. Bechance means here happen. Something happened which nobody could expect. What would bechance at Lyonnesse when I should sojourn there? Now he says that even a prophet could not have predicted it, nor a magician could have guessed it, what had happened in Lyonnesse. As he had stayed at the Parish for some time, in that short period, he found something happened, and it was something inner change which was sudden and unexpected. And the poet says that at the starting of his journey, no one could think about such a change which had happened in him, and not even the prophet or wizard could have guessed that happening. Now, coming to the last stanza. When the return from Lyonnesse with magic in my eyes, all marked with mute surmise, my radiance rare and phantomless, when I return from Lyonnesse with magic in my eyes. Now, here the author says that when the poet returned from the church, there was a glamour in his eyes. Return means came back, magic means glamour or charm. All marked with mute surmise, my radiance rare and phantomless. So all had marked that that glow in my eyes. Mute means silent. Surmise means conjecture. Okay, my radiance rare and phantomless. when I returned from Lyonnesse with magic in my eyes. My radiance means glow. Um, and phantomless here means so deep that the depth can't be measured. And it was rare means uncommon. So here the author says that all the people silently marked this rare glow and bottomless depth in his eyes. And this happened as he returned after supervising the restoration of the church from the lioness with charming eyes. Though they didn't spoke anything about this particular change, however, they were impressed by the rare and deep radiance in his eyes. Now coming to the summary of the poem When I Set Out for Linus. The poem When I Set Out for Linus is written by Thomas Hardy. In the poem, the poet shares a journey to the place called Lyonnesse, which is the mythical land in England. It is believed to have been submerged by the sea, and in the poem, it is used as an imaginary place. The poet once visited a parish. A parish is a small church belonging to a small community to supervise the restoration of the work. The poet set out for Lyonnesse, which was situated in 100 miles away. It was a winter season with the fog spreading everywhere, and the leaves of the plants were covered with frost. The light of the twinkling star guided the poet on the lonely path, and he had no idea what would happen during his stay at Lyonnesse. Now, the poet stays at Lyonnesse for a short duration. He found inner change in him, changing his personality. The poet says that even a prophet or a wise wizard would fail to guess what had happened there. When the poet returned from Lyonnesse, everyone noticed the change in his eyes. The poet's eyes were filled with magical glow. They were shining with joys and satisfaction. Everyone guessed silently the reason for the poet's deep radiance and happiness, and however, they weren't able to find it. Now, here through the poem, the poet is suggesting the spiritual benefit of visiting some places. The visit to Lyonnesse is really rewarding and illuminating, which brought a major transformation in poet's life. Now, here coming to the exercises. In the first stanza, find words that shows that it was very cold, that it was late evening, that the traveler was alone. So answer here is that it was very cold, rhyme, that it was very late evening, starlight, that the traveler was alone, lonesomeness. Coming to the second question, something happened in Linus. It was improbable, impossible, unforeseeable. Pick out two lines from stanza 2 to justify your answer. So answer is something happened at Linus. It was unforeseeable. The two lines that justify the above answers are as follows. No prophet jurist declare, nor did the wisest wizard guess. Now coming to the third question, read the line stanza 3 that implies the following. Everyone noticed something and they made guesses but didn't speak a word. Now read the lines that refer to what they noticed. All marked with mute surmise, my radiance rare and phantomless. Now next question is what inspired Hardy to write the poem When I Set Out for Lyonnesse? The poet set out for Lyonnesse to supervise a renovation work of a church. He writes the poem to celebrate his successful attempt. What did people notice on poet's return from the parish? On his return from the parish, people noticed two things about him: a new glow in his eyes and a crumpled piece of paper sticking out of his coat pocket. Now, coming to the last question, what is Lyonnesse and what happened in Lyonnesse? What was the weather when the poet set out for Lyonnesse? In Arthurian legend, Lyonnesse was a country near Cornwall in southwest England, and it is supposed to have been submerged in sea, and it is also a mythical birthplace of Sir Tristram. Some improbable incident seems to have happened at Lyonnesse, and this incident greatly influenced the poet's mind. Talking about the climate, it was very cold when the poet set out for Lyonnesse, and it was late evening, and the leaves were covered with frost, and the starlit the dark night. That was the end of the lesson. Thank you.